And our next archers take to the field, and in the foreground you see Mahtab Parsamehr of Iran, and that is Christie Colin of the United States in the dark blue shirt, and she will shoot at target number 2 here this morning. Mahtab Parsamehr comes in as the number 3 seed. She's ranked 3rd in the world, 22 years old, and she won her first World Cup event this summer in Antalya, Turkey, and was in the top 10 in 3 stages, 3 of the 4 stages that were played out across the planet this summer. And as I mentioned, she and Halimian, the first Iranian athletes to ever compete in the World Cup finals, and there's a good look at her coach. Now, her competition this morning will be the 6th seeded Christie Colin of the U.S., ranked 10th in the world. And of course, she had a great showing just about 2 weeks ago in Shanghai, where she was on the women's gold medal team, beating Russia 227 to 214.
Yeah, and you know, Christie shot well in China and was able to get into the World Cup final here. She really needed to shoot good that tournament. She did, so should be a really good match, I think. Christie was shooting really good in China and shooting good the last couple weeks, and Parsamehr has been shooting good all year. So.
And there you see some of the local folks out on the water enjoying a beautiful Saturday morning, taking in some World Cup final archery here on the grounds at the Kachuksu Castle. It will be Parsamehr there on your right shooting at target 1, and Christie Colin on your left shooting at target number 2, and Christie will take the first shot. Good start.
It's a very good start.
Right at 1 o'clock, just past tweener.
Mahtab Parsamehr of Iran.
Ooh.
Not the way she wanted to start this match, especially against a veteran like Christie.
Christie's going to want to keep the pressure on, shoot another 10.
See the time winding down on the Longines clock there with 5 seconds to go. She lets it fly.
You can see both archers when you're watching them, just a little bit nerve shaking more than they normally were this first match. And take a couple arrows to calm down just a little bit.
Mahtab Parsamehr shakes off the nerves, shoots at 10, ties the score at 18 all, or excuse me, pulls within 1. As Christie Colin pulls back the string on her compound bow and fires a 9.
Again. You'll notice, I noticed this yesterday when we were shooting here, and I thought it was because of the wind. We all shot a little bit left, and it just seems like in the first match and then this match too, both archers starting off a little bit left, you know, as a whole group, and that's a 7 left.
A surprising shot. You won't see that very often from Mahtab Parsamehr.
Does surprise me a little bit, and Christie has a 3-point lead now, I believe.
Christie with 28 points in that first end here in the second match. And that's Rio Wild on the left, who we'll see in just a little while competing. She's coaching Christie Colin through her match right now. And it is a 3-point lead, 28-25 after the first end, Brady.
It is. Now hopefully Christie will calm down, and for the life of me I can't remember go from Iran's name.
Oh, Mahtab Parsamehr?
Yeah, that one.
That one. The one on the right there, whose final arrow of the first end was a 7. And that puts her 3 points behind as we go to the second end. Of course, we saw in the first match, Laura Longo came from 3 down to send it to a shoot-off, but
it's a 9 left again.
Mm-hmm.
Make it count.
Good shot of Christie Colin. Concentration pays off
10
on the line.
There you go.
They'll put an asterisk by it and they'll check it. And now the pressure really on Parsamehr.
And I don't know where that went. That's a miss down low, which really kind of seals the match.
And you can just see through the body language and the expression on her face. She is really upset with herself. Christie Colin continuing to shoot consistently.
Yep.
She's grouping her arrows nicely. And Parsamehr, who got no score for that last shot, in a deep hole, trying to come back.
8, and you know, she's a good shooter. I think maybe just the nerves got a little bit.
Back to Christie Colin for her final shot of this second end. Christie with 2 9s, perhaps a 10. There's another 9. So it's either 3 9s or 2 9s and 1 10.
I think she's going to catch that top arrow, and it's going to be called a 10 for a 28, and for a 11-point difference on that one end.
Huge difference. 55 to 42 is the score.
Lead. And when you see someone like that, you can almost, nothing's guaranteed, but you can almost guarantee that Christie's going to come ahead this match. And now both archers just kind of calm down and shoot the rest of it out. And
for somebody like Mahtab Parsamehr, who's shot internationally, she's 22 years old, but she has a lot of international experience, and there you can see her trying to regain her composure. Are you surprised to see this happen in the World Cup finals for somebody with her experience?
You know, I really, really am. I mean, it is her first World Cup final, and she win this match. That you have both her and her teammate in semifinals going, and that is a little bit of pressure to get to. It just an off day today, it looks like.
She really seems to be grasping right now. She was to the left early on, now she's high and right, but Christie Colin has been almost dead center the whole time.
There's another 10, and
Still hanging left side.
You could hear Rio in the background just telling her she's still hanging a little left, so.
Parsamehr in a tough spot, and that may be her best shot so far.
That one got the 10 line just low.
That would be only her second 10 of the match, where Christie Colin has been very consistent.
Yep.
There you go, left X.
Left side.
Keeps up the pressure, trying to get to the semifinals where she would face Parsamehr's teammate, Vida Halimian.
Yep. And an X there. Now she's starting to calm down a little bit and put some in the middle. And Christie's just trying to get really sighted in, getting ready for her next match now and trying to get a feel for this field and where everything's going to go.
Good look at that stabilizer bar.
Hey, she finally shot one on the right side. That's good. You hear Rio laughing in the background too that she finally shot one right.
Real Wild, a good guy to have in your corner, isn't he?
He is. He's got a lot of experience, and he's won a lot of things, and he just knows the right things to say at the right time, and he's always a good person to have in your box or just cheering for you in general.
So Real Wild coaching Christie Colin, who has a commanding lead right now after the first 3 ends, 85-68, a far cry from the first match that went to a shoot-off between Vida Halimian and Laura Longo. Halimian winning in the shoot-off after losing a 3-point lead, Longo coming from behind to send it to the shoot-off, and then they both shot bullseyes, but it was Halimian shot closer to the center of the target. Now in this match, in the second end, things turned around when Mahtab Parsamehr's second shot of the second end was not scored. We're still not sure where that arrow is. It may be out in the Bosphorus for all we know. So here we go with the fourth end. And Mahtab Parsamehr from Iran. High and to the right.
She's just a little bit off this morning, and
Just good, strong shots.
You can see that flag at top target number 2. It's starting to pick up a little bit, the wind here in Istanbul, but it doesn't affect Christie Colin.
yeah, the wind's starting to pick up a little bit, but it's still very, very manageable. It's not enough to blow you around quite yet.
And 8 that time for a very, very disappointed Mahtab Parsamehr.
Good, strong shot.
Christie on the big screen and on your screen back home.
Yep.
And just
Boy.
doubled them up. I want
Almost,
to shoot like that when I grow up.
almost the Robin Hood.
And there's a 10.
You want to see Parsamehr finish up strong. This will be good experience for her. She's early in her career, only 22 years of age. Christie Colin trying to make the most of her World Cup Finals experience. And a 9 right there. So Christie Colin in this match so far with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullseyes and a commanding lead as she gets set to head to the 5th and final end. Christie, of course, has been on a couple of gold medal teams this summer at Stage 3 in Ogden. Same goes for Stage 2 in Antalya, Turkey. Also picked up a mixed team gold medal at the first stage in Croatia. So her cup of World Cup medals have runneth over this summer. She has had a good year.
No, she really has, and I mean, you know, everyone here has had a good year when you're in the final. You're in the top 8 in the standings, and this is what we go to all the stages all across the world for, is to come here and compete for all this money.
And when you talk about going across the world, you're a prime example of that. You started out in San Diego, went to Phoenix, flew up to Salt Lake City, Salt Lake to New York, New York to Istanbul. When you talk about road trips in this sport, you're talking about going a long way. Parsamehr to start off the 5th and final end. Her final arrows of this World Cup event. Her first World Cup event, but I'm sure we'll see more of her in the future. And of course we'll see a lot more of Christie today as she drills it.
Hammering out right now.
No let up for Christie Colin as she tries to put Mahtab Parsamehr away, and Parsamehr trying to salvage a little bit from this match. And now the final arrow in Istanbul for the Iranian archer Mahtab Parsamehr, and it's an 8.
And Christie has clinched the match.
So this is a mere formality. It's academic at this point. Christie Colin will be moving on. And the 9 will do it. And it's all over. So
Christie
the
will
second
go on
match
to
is
the
in the books.
semifinals and shoot against Halimian from Iran in this afternoon's session.
That's right, semifinals. Christie Colin moving on. And Mahtab Parsamehr, her World Cup finals are over as she had a tough day, and it was that second end that really did her in. She was down by 3 after the first end, but when she picked up no score for that second arrow of the second end, that sealed her fate. And she winds up losing by 22 points. The final score 142 to 120. Christie Colin with 142 points out of a possible 150. So nice shooting for the American, who will be back a little bit later on in the mixed team.